Okay, as anybody that is familiar with my channel knows, we have a bunch of projects going on in the shop. I personally have a bunch of projects going on in the shop. And two of the projects that I have going on that I want to kind of mingle into this video is the haul truck, and then the carbon fiber intake build. Now, as any of you know, I'm building this. This is a mold that's going to be used to build a carbon fiber intake manifold for the haul truck. So at a given time, they have to be merged anyways, but let me take you over here. And if anybody that's familiar with a haul truck will realize, I put the P-pump back on the engine that's sitting in the truck. The engine has to come back out again at some point in time and get rebuilt and modified somewhat, and then put back in again, but that's not why I'm here. Why I'm here is you'll notice that I put the P-pump back on it again. So these two projects have to be mingled, and this is kind of where this video is going. I'm going to shut you off right now, and I'm going to show you a clip that was done a couple of days ago, and it's going to lead to kind of an explanation as to why I'm into this video right now. Okay, so I'm in the shop here. One of the things that I did this morning is came into the shop and put the P-pump back onto the engine because Brian Block had brought up an issue, or wanted to make sure that I had covered my bases on this. The intake manifold in relationship to the P-pump, and that's kind of where it is. So I've got to, my intention all along has been to reroute the injection lines. So that's not going to be an issue. I just kind of wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to hit on anything else. Okay, I'm going to insert a bunch of little clips here, and this is going to be the first of them. You know, Brian mentioned that he thought that maybe I might be into the P-pump with that manifold. Very good point. But I had my bases covered because I had actually ran into that issue before. About 4 years ago, I made a intake manifold for a 5.9 Cummins. But the guy wanted to leave the grid heater on there, and if anybody knows, 5.9 Cummins are notorious for getting poor airflow to like the 5th and 6th cylinders. So I made an intake manifold. It was steel, welded, but I kind of made that. I couldn't curve a lot of places because I didn't have the facilities to cut curved or curve metal. But I had made that, but guess what? It was into the P-pump. So I was sure that I had covered my bases, but it's always good to be second guessed on something and just to double and triple check yourselves on it. While we were kind of discussing that, he brought up the issue of he's made intake manifolds before out of aluminum, never carbon fiber, but they have split, and he was wondering if I was going to reinforce this, and that's a good point. Kind of what I told him is there is when you look at carbon fiber specs from suppliers, they have a pound rating on the carbon fiber itself, but you don't know what that that pound rating is for. Is it for like shear strength, tensile strength, whatever it is? Brian's concern was that it might split under pressure. Okay, let me address two things. There's probably going to be a little change, and what I tell you here, I'm going to address further in the video about the strength of carbon fiber. Again, a little bit of a change. Now, I kind of knew from instinct that carbon fiber was going to be strong enough. And people, I've done this most of my life, or most of my working life, been able to tell whether something is strong enough to be used for things. And how I do it, I don't know. It's not something that I can relate to, but let's equate it to an idiot savant that knows what the day is of April 1st in 2120. I don't know how I do it. Maybe I've read it someplace, maybe I've heard it someplace, maybe I can just look at something and tell whether the thing is going to be strong enough for the forces that could be exerted upon it. How I do it, again, I don't know, really don't know. And I'm not patting myself on the back or not trying to make myself out to be a big deal. It's just something that I do. But anyways, let me go on to it, and I'll get into the strength of carbon fiber in more detail from a little bit of research that I did afterwards. 40 pounds of pressure from the turbo. And he was wondering if I was going to reinforce it or maybe even cross pin the part of the area. And what I'm still looking for is if there's an engineering manual on carbon fiber and its strength under pressure. Now you have to relate that to a curved area, though. Also, curved areas give more strength than straight areas and pressure ratings, or they give more strength ratings that way. Kind of what I had told him is that if it wasn't a destructible mold, I would make 2 of these things and pressure test one of them. So kind of what I'm thinking is I might add some ribbing, or he suggested it, adding ribbing to the outside of it. And I was kind of thinking of it. They make carbon fiber like tubing that I could buy and just kind of overlay it from one side to the other in different areas and around different areas, just to kind of add some more stability for it, because it's an unknown factor unless I find an engineering spec that kind of can relate me to the weight of the carbon fiber cloth, the weave of the carbon fiber cloth, and a curved surface area in relationship to withstanding pressure. And that's kind of a tall order to think of. But anyways, I will let you know kind of where I'm going to go with it in other parts of the intake build. Okay, so let me tell you what I found out about Kevlar. Carbon fiber. I've got Kevlar on the mind, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. It's very hard to find specific information about carbon fiber, the strengths of it. They'll give you some strength ratings of it, and I'll kind of relate them to you. I'll kind of go off some notes that I've got written down here, but it's kind of hard to relate specific strength ratings compared to other things, and I kind of figured out why. If you relate it to aluminum or steel or any of the normal things that you work with, it is a controlled industry. In other words, they make steel, and it's controlled, so to speak, and you can get strength ratings off of it. With carbon fiber, it's not controlled. They give you the carbon fiber material, and you make it per se. It's not like steel. You don't give you iron ore and coke, and you go out and make your own steel. They wouldn't be able to really give you a strength rating on it because they don't know how controlled it would be. What you've added to it, haven't added to it, how you did it. So they wouldn't be able to give you a strength rating. And I kind of think that's the same way with carbon fiber. They give you some basic information. So basically, carbon fiber on a same thickness basis, done right, is 6 times stronger than carbon steel, 5 times stronger than stainless steel, 10 times stronger than aluminum. Tubing is, carbon fiber tubing is 4 times stronger than aluminum, 1.5 times stronger than steel. So I have no doubt that the carbon fiber will hold up in the intake manifold. What I am going to do, though, is after I get it made, pressure test it, because the thing that I don't know is how other interactions of the truck and its long-term use will be. So I just kind of want to know that it's going to be good for pressure testing, and what I'm going to try and do is control that pressure testing and test it and see if it is expanding or not expanding and what it's doing. And again, I don't have a testing laboratory, so it's probably going to be some crude measurements, but I just kind of want to be self-assured that if I put this on the truck, first of all, that it's going to hold up to pressure of boost, but secondly, that it's going to be strong enough to withstand the other elements that are going to be put on, vibration, heat, etc., and then be pressurized with boost. So, and be done for a long-term deal. So I just kind of want to reassure myself in that aspect. Again, one of the things that they talk about in the strength rating of carbon fiber is carbon fiber is made usually on a 50-50 basis. 50 like per weight. The weight of cloth is the same amount of resin is put onto it. That is not the same measurement in the aerospace industry, where it's regulated. So apparently, the more resin you put into the carbon fiber, the less strength you get out of it. So the aerospace industry doesn't go 50-50. They go 70-30 or 60-40 in that range. So 60% weight of carbon fiber versus 40% weight of resin. So the less resin that you put into the fiber, the stronger it is. But then again, you have to impregnate the entire fiber. You can't leave air spots or anything like that into it, which would weaken it also. So carbon fiber is kind of a tricky little thing to work with, and it's very specific of how you use it. So again, what I'm going to do, put it on the truck, but before I put it on the truck, I will try and pressure test it. Just take some rudimentary type of measurements to make sure that it's not expanding or contracting a lot with pressure, which could create a weakening over time. So that will probably be it for this video, but I'll let you know if anything happens. Of course, it will be in one of the, it'll either be in the haul truck series or it'll be in the carbon fiber intake build series. So, but I'll keep you informed as to what's going on. Okay, there's one other thing. I slipped and said Kevlar before. One of the companies that I'm looking at buying the carbon fiber from makes a Kevlar carbon fiber material, which is supposed to be stronger, but they don't list any type of strength rating for it. They just say it's stronger than regular carbon fiber. It is more expensive, logically. Apparently it's a lot harder to work with, harder to cut, harder to shape into forms. But it is a little more expensive, not a lot more expensive, like you would think, but a little more expensive. So before I actually make a decision on whether I'm going to use pure carbon fiber or maybe carbon fiber Kevlar mixed material cloth, I will call them up and see what the strength rating is on it and how much harder it is to work with. But I'll let you know. Okay, one last thing about this whole subject. All of the information that I've get related to you has come off the internet. Whether it be from the manufacturer, which could be a line of BS because they want to make their product look good, or the second part of the information was derived from what appeared to me to be like a term paper or a thesis that somebody had written. So whether there's credibility to any of that information, I don't know. But basically what everybody is saying that carbon fiber is in the same thickness as steel, stronger than steel. So take it with a grain of salt. But thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment.